I have in my hand 1, 2, 3, 4 games that we at least have on the upset alert meter this Saturday. Now, a number of other games we've already gone over. They're broken down. They're on the channel. You can find them. But we have not talked a second about Maryland, Ohio State. Ohio State's favored by 19.5 in this game. It's a noon Eastern time kick. It's big noon kickoff. And we salute, even though we don't work for that network. We love big noon kickoff for reasons I've mentioned in the past. This is a 6.75 on the upset alert meter for me. I have mild concerns for Ohio State. Now, they're rested, so we got that going for us if we're the Buckeyes. Maryland is one of those teams, and we still have a few of them out there, that if people are being honest with you, they just haven't watched. You people have not watched a Maryland game. I know you guys. I know you haven't, unless you're a Maryland fan. Like our close, good personal friend, Tani, residing in the northeastern corridor of the United States now. He will hear this and text me later. I know he's watched the Terps, and Scott Van Pelt, he's probably watched the Terps, but outside of that, you people hadn't watched Maryland? What do I mean by you people? Me! I hadn't watched a Maryland game in totality either, so I'm right there with you. But Jesse has, because Jesse has nothing else to do. And so, from the mouth of Jesse to my pen to this piece of paper, Maryland has won every Power 5 game by 20-plus points. Yeah, I mean, it's Virginia, it's Charlotte, but still, they count. Taulia Tagovailoa last year in this game against Ohio State, it was close. 43-30, game was in doubt all the way through. 293 yards and 2 touchdowns. We believe in this building, Maryland would be favored to win the Big Ten West if they just switched sides today. They're in the East, therefore, even though it's the last year of division play, it still is division play. They're buried under Michigan and Ohio State and Penn State, so no one's paying attention to them. They're plus 9 turnovers. They've held 7 straight opponents under 20. Yet you heard me right. I didn't tell you how much Maryland has scored. I'm telling you, they're holding teams under 20. Let's just be careful here. Got bigger fish to fry down the road if we're Ohio State, but let's be careful here. I shouldn't talk about this game because I was at it last year and it was a bloodbath, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. Kansas State is going to Oklahoma State Friday night, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN. This right here has a current line of 10.5. Kansas State, 10.5-point favorite. Listen to me. Listen close. Because I'm not sure how much I believe what I'm about to say, but I'm going to sound convinced. Alan Bowman's figured some things out at quarterback. Mike Gundy has never sounded less confident in endorsing a starting quarterback in his life as he sounds when he's talking about Alan Bowman. But Alan Bowman is our guy for the time being. He threw for 278 against Iowa State. That is better than his first 3 games combined. What does that mean? He's surging at the right time. I was at this game last year, in case you've forgotten, and trust me, I've tried to. 48-0. It was probably the birth of the Sarah McLachlan special. It's really where we first coined the phrase. I have to just have blind faith sometimes when you're trying to see around the corner in college football and think about where an upset may be coming. You just have to have blind faith that eventually breaks are going to randomly go some team's way. And there's also this little trinket/tidbit of information. Kansas State is way, way down there in the Big 12 right now, statistically, in pass defense. So I don't care if he has to blindfold himself and just chuck it up like Chad Kelly against Bama all those years ago. Just dink it, doink it, bounce it, do whatever you got to do. Just find the hands of a few receivers here. And certainly that's not something you drop on a grease board. But I have a sneaking suspicion that Oklahoma State's going to hang around in this game. I am putting a 7.25 out of 10 on the upset alert meter here. More on this game later. We mentioned Notre Dame and Louisville the other night. We broke it down. It's got its own individual video on the channel. But Notre Dame Twitter went full clown mode today. Not all of you, but a select few of you. Sometimes, and this is going to surprise you, sometimes on social media, people do not listen to what is said and instead react to what they think was said. Yes, I'm afraid it happens. And so the other night, I said, and I'll say it again because I'm right, there are some people out there, not Notre Dame fans, should have specified this, I guess. I got to spell it all out. Not Notre Dame fans. There are some national college football fans that'll pick this game, and they'll pick Notre Dame, and they'll say, Notre Dame, I think, has got a quarterback advantage because they know Sam Hartman. They know the name Sam Hartman. But if you asked a lot of those folks, who's Louisville's quarterback? They wouldn't even be able to tell you who Jack Plummer is. My point there was not that Louisville has the edge at quarterback. They don't. My point there was not, well, Notre Dame has no clue who Jack Plummer is. They played him twice at different universities. Yes, they know him. I never said they didn't. What I said was there is a swath of the college football public that probably believes in Notre Dame blindly at quarterback, not even knowing who the dude pulling the trigger for Louisville is. That's the point, the whole point, and nothing but the point. I think the situationals matter here. That's why it's an upset alert game. We actually picked Louisville to win this game. Jeff Brom's got his shot at Louisville now. Got his shot, national TV, Saturday night, 7:30, ABC. He's got his shot to take down Notre Dame. Ohio State game, down to the wire. Duke game, down to the wire. This thing right here on the road, prime time, Super Bowl spot, Louisville on extended rest. And then after all this, they get to play USC next week. This is a tough stretch for Notre Dame. And so I think it's a 9.5 on the upset alert meter because I slightly lean towards the upset happening. There is, of course, another school of thought, and that is Notre Dame will run the ball about 70 times Saturday night and bleed clock and win convincingly. Yeah, there's a world where that happens. It's just not the one I'm picking. Also, don't go to bed. Don't go to bed until you've checked out Arizona USC Saturday night, 10:30 Eastern Time, ESPN, at Colorado last week. Game ended up being close. On the road against Notre Dame next week, that's when the real difficulty starts. But here's the problem potentially. Everybody keeps saying that. Everybody keeps saying USC's schedule really ramps up next week, and it does. But if you're Arizona and you hear that, well, that's disrespectful, and we all know how much we traffic in valuing disrespect on this show. That's sarcasm, but it may be real in a one-off scenario. Also, USC just totally raided Arizona's roster for talent in the portal this past year. And so, yeah, Arizona last week played Washington. It was off everyone's radar except ours because we took Arizona on the Ramen Noodle Express. You know what they did with their backup quarterback? They hung within 7 of Washington. And I think they may go to LA and may hang with USC. When you don't have a defense that can slam the door, you leave open the possibility of anything happening. You could win this thing 56-20, or it could be 44-41 late in the fourth quarter. All of the above could happen. Also, Dane Miller had a great number. Out of the past 16 games in this matchup, USC-Arizona, past 16 games, 13 of the past 16 have come down to one possession. They've been one-possession games. That's crazy. So I'm going to put, my paper slid away. It's a 6 on the upset alert scale. 6. I think I'm more in cover mode than upset mode there. But nonetheless, those are some games to keep an eye on.